Hello, everybody. Hello. I know it's not everybody because I'm sure some people are going to trickle in because of the rain, you know. For some reason, people around here stop driving when there's rain. It's weird. It's really weird. Once you've driven in snow, like that rain doesn't seem so bad, you know. But, anyways, who's here for the first time? Welcome, welcome. Hi, welcome. So this is my living room. Just so you know, we built this place for you and your friends. So now your job is to tell your friends about us. So, you know, that's fine. We'll share, right? I do my part. I built the place. Then you do your part. You tell your friends about it. That seems like a good deal, you know. So we have a couple things. So first of all, there's 3 bathrooms, 1 on each floor. The bulb is burnt, and it just happened like a few minutes ago on the 3rd floor, so it's pretty dark up there. You're welcome to go, but be careful coming up and down the stairs because it's a little bit darker than normal. And aside from that, that's about it. Please silence your cell phone, disable your flash. You're absolutely welcome to take pictures and share them on socials and stuff. Just hashtag Timuquois and Authentic Selves, and that would be great. And what else is there? Oh yeah, so every month we have a new visual artist. Oh, let me do this. I'll raise it up once I go back. What was I saying? Man, I'm getting old. A visual artist. So visual art, it's like basically October is kind of a shorter month for us as far as the events go. Like we don't have events all the way to the end of the month. So basically, like you know, you have Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday there's a fun. Let me tell you about the schedule. So Wednesday we have the last installment of new Icelandic symphonic music. Yeah. So if you're interested in that, that's the last one. It was a triple album, so that's the 3rd album. And then that's a free session. We just listen to music for an hour or so. It's kind of like a small oasis of, you know, calm and just, you know, music in your busy, crazy week. I know for me it's the 1 hour a month or 75 minutes a month that I that's it. I listen to music and I don't do anything else. So it's my time, and you're welcome to share it with me because that's it. On Friday we have Burgundy, R&B, jazz, neo soul. It's a quintet, very cool with the vocalist and stuff. So I hope you tell your friends about it. We still have some seats available for that. And on Saturday we have very interesting futuristic caveman, and Alexis, the artist, is going to paint live for that event. That is like electronic music. It's very well done. I haven't seen his face yet because I don't think anybody ever sees his face. He's always got like different headgear on to hide who he is. He's like one of these anonymous artists, but he's very good. And he says that like this the whole point of this is like to open your mind to something different, and like basically it's kind of like meditation in a way, but it's electronica meditation. So if you're interested,
when is that again?
That's on Saturday, the 25th. And then on Sunday at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. it's a private event. It's not on our schedule, but it's called Blind Date at the Cabaret, and it's an association of the blind locally, and they're doing a cabaret. They're raising money for visual descriptions for blind people for other things as well. So there's going to be a visual description person doing it here, but also you know, trying to raise money. I think it's a good cause, so I'm telling you guys about it. So maybe you can come, or you can tell somebody who you think might be interested in helping them with that. Aside from that, after that, what do we have? We have the following Wednesday, I think it's the 28th, whatever, the last Wednesday of the month. This is a 5 Wednesday month. And when we have that, we have the great Janice Rouse. She does her alignment, body alignment, voice. It's like a nervous system rejuvenation kind of session. She's absolutely great, and it's pay what you like. Usually she's like $400 an hour if you do a one-on-one with her. So it's like she goes all over the world. She works with Olympic athletes and dancers and opera singers and stuff. And so she comes and she does it for free for us. So that's pretty cool. You should try to sign up, just because at some point, like after 12 or 15 people, we stop it there, because she works with you one-on-one as well as a group, you know, so it's pretty cool. She'll touch you, so she'll make you feel, she will touch you. She's a hands-on thing. It's a hands-on thing. So Alexis Collum is our visual artist this month. And then November, December, we combine these months because of the holidays. It seems more fair to me. And our artist then is going to be Angelo Rodriguez, and he does only pencil. Actually, he does mechanical pencil only, and he's a fabulous artist. So I hope that you come to see some of these events that he's going to paint like that or work like that. So anyways, please help me welcome the great, the one and only Lauren White.
Just telling, always introduces me that way. So I always ask our feature artists how much of their bios they would and would not like for me to read. And okay, sorry. And this one said, well, I want to get through a lot of material, so that's more important. Therefore, I'm just going to introduce our feature artist, who a lot of you know as part of the Authentic Selves family and for his advocacy in Orlando, and somebody dear to our hearts, Nelson Bétancourt. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to thank Benoit and for having this facility. And providing it to the community so generously, and really. And of course, for Lauren to keep this beautiful program going, which is a great community building tool and resource, and just a really powerful place to be connected to. Let's put it this way. Tonight I want to dedicate this reading to my mother-in-law. My wife and I visited her for 2.5 weeks. We came back Wednesday morning, and we received a message that she just passed Friday, probably Friday. We received, or Saturday. So this is in memory to Grace Black Hammond. During the time that we were in Colorado visiting her, I had a chance to write some poetry, which I call the Colorado poems. So tonight I'm going to split this up into 3 areas: the Colorado poems, the Palestine poems, and what I call the Vision and Prayer poems. I'm going to ask you a favor: don't applaud after I finish any of the poems, because I have a lot of material that I like to cover. And then at the end, if you are led to applaud, then by all means do that. But let me just get through the material. I look at it as though a lot of this stuff is just like telling you a story, a long story for a half hour. But I hope that it will have help you in some way, or inspire you in some way, or make you angry about some things. Anyway, William Carlos Williams, an American poet, says a poem is a small machine made out of words. And my poems tend to be very short. So I'm going to start with a few short things. This is sort of like the appetizer of this great meal that I'm going to serve you tonight. There's a word in French which is bricolage. Bricolage is sort of like do-it-yourself. It's an improvisation. Anything created from a variety of things. So I'm just going to go into this, and then we'll go into the first part, which are the Colorado poems. Bricolage. Presence of mind. Leading into the light. Humility. Reverence. Surprise. I am an intention. I use my body to look and see what stories are woven around the stars. Daily news. Broadcast from the dark side of the moon. Ensnared by her beauty, it was like coming home to water. Mind frames, peace waves, flow from nature's grace. The number 7 makes my life complete, upbeat. This is a time of revolvers and silhouettes. Art is love. William Blake said, infinity is in love with the creations of time. Art is work, no different than whittling a stick or chiseling a stone. Art is nothing special. Margaret Piercy said, the work of the world is as common as mud. Art makes sense as we resolve the questions of chaos and murder. Antonio Gramsci said, the old world is dying and a new world struggles to be born. Now is the time for monsters. Art makes fools of us all, is the price of entrance to God's heaven on earth. So this is the start of the Colorado poems, and I'm going to sprinkle short excerpts from other poets because I love to bring other poets into the mix, okay? This is an excerpt from a poem by E. Cummings. It's called The Most Amazing Day. I thank you, God, for this amazing day, for the leaping greenly spirits of trees in a blue true dream of sky, and for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is yes. This is the first poem from Colorado. It's called The Mountains Shall Bring Peace to the People. I came to the mountains to wrestle their energy, to lay up my wounds in their space and their seasons. Somewhere I had read, the mountains shall bring peace to the people. I had to find out if my brokenness would heal at the turn of the aspens, beside the streams and the rivers. The mountains have stood still for millions of years. Loneliness in the wilderness have brought peace to our tears. Sometimes the memory of mountains have vanished our fears. Our bodies are made strong by walking along their celestial frontiers. The mountains shall bring peace to the people when the people stand for the mountains. The mountains shall bring peace to the people when we let the mountains embrace us in their eternal release. This next one is called When a Cowboy Gets the Blues. When a cowboy gets the blues, nothing calms his nerves like the breath of a horse, his nuzzled tenderness on his face. When a cowboy gets the blues, it's like a prospector scouring the land, sifting his sorrows, finding no treasure at the bottom of his gold pan. When a cowboy gets the blues, he lies down in the grass, not sure whether what hurts will stay long or come to pass. When a cowboy gets the blues, he leans on his guitar, singing about love being lost, rivers turned into dry sand. When a cowboy gets the blues, he might look for an angel in a crowded saloon. He might fall in love with a bottle like falling in love with the moon. The love of his horse will open his eyes, but only the love of a woman will bring peace to his heart. This one is called Singing as the Farm Was Home. I got that line from Dylan Thomas. singing as the farm was home. First, they came for the horses. Then, with modern machinery, they destroy the soil. Next, they kill the farmer in making him a slave to the agribusinesses and bankers. And we have been thrown into a vast market of additives and chemicals, not knowing where our food comes from, alien to our bodies and our character. We have been far removed from the health and strength of bygone generations, driven out the wisdom of folk occupations. What have we gained by losing these vibrant, living possessions? Oh, how I wish to wallow like a hog in a swill, if I were to sing the heart of the soil again in the farmlands and fields. This is my introduction to the Palestine poems. This is an excerpt from a poem by a Palestinian poet, Marwan Makul. It goes like this. In order to write poetry that isn't political, I must listen to the birds. And in order to listen to the birds, the warplanes must be silent. This is my first poem about Palestine. It's called Picasso in Gaza. Picasso, you should have been there. Guernica was an opening act for a far worse ending. In Guernica, they bombarded the helpless town, but they came back to Gaza to murder the Prince of Peace in the world's holy ground. If there had been a window left from where to view the slaughter, a civilization that was never meant to birth what we have seen. The ground disappears, the horrors and the tears, the flesh torn from years of exile in this impenetrably hidden Holocaust. In Guernica, a town ceased to matter. In Gaza, a civilization is being torn apart. And the deformed face and metallic trays of the killer heart is not far removed from turning on the switch to set the Middle East on fire, and humanity ceases to exist. It's the anarchy of the rough beast, come rending flesh from bone, bloodshed spilled in a memory of fire upon the broken stones. This is a time for monsters, too drunk on pomp and pantomime. But you should have been there, Picasso, when the world awakened to the anarchy, treachery, and lies. How beautiful are they who preach the gospel of peace, with their courage, with their politics, with their kindness, with their artistry, with their wisdom, with their strength. How beautiful to find peace of good tidings amid such disgrace. Picasso, if you had been there, what would you have painted then? This next one is called The Refusal to Surrender Memory. And let me just tell you why I named that way. It seems like if the war in Gaza and in the Middle East ceases, I think the next war is going to be one that's going to be trying to erase the memory of what has happened. And this is going to be launched on a psychological media level. The refusal to surrender memory. I won't change the world to give away to your crimes, the foundation of meaning, freedom of speech, and ancestral songlines. You want to change the world because you can't live in the one God gave you and the one we're called to safeguard. Your lies and deception, when based on Holy Scripture, do not absolve genocide. They're based on disfiguring the face of creation and holiness we are meant to abide. Who has permitted you to change the shape of the sun? The world is giving you wide berth as you make nothing what has taken generations to build: diplomacy, civilization, and laws. This time our world does not die in darkness. This time our world is fading in daylight. We all share in the horror. Many are poisoned by their arrogance. I will not change the world to suit you. You're immune to the commandments. This time the world will look away while being hostage to your violence. Life is no game for cowards. I won't change the world for anyone who wants to make nothing out of life through deceit, violence, and genocide. Things that must come to an end must stop. I've always had a belief that the two-state solution is bogus, it's nonsense. There's nowhere to have two states. I believe that we should have one state for Muslims, Christians, and Jews. I call this poem the Tree of Great Jerusalem. I propose that a new country be formed called Great Jerusalem, because Jerusalem means Jerus means city, and Salem means peace, the city of peace. It would be a way for all the three religions and anyone that wants to be in peace to live in Great Jerusalem, like Great Britain, Great Jerusalem. I believe one day Great Jerusalem will be one peace, one God, one nation, liberated in the crucible of brotherhood and revelation. I believe one day Great Jerusalem will have no need for nuclear weapons, celebrating the bravery of freedom, not an iron dome of separation. I believe one day Great Jerusalem will usher in a new birth of freedom where everyone is equal under human rights and reason. And I believe one day this too shall come to pass. Great Jerusalem will rise like an olive grove from a wellspring in the desert. For to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. I love this poem. This is by, how am I doing with time here?
Good.
Yeah? Okay. This is called The Lions of Fire Shall Have Their Hunting, by one of my favorite poets, Kenneth Patchen. It's a short poem. It goes like this. The lions of fire shall have their hunting in this black land. Their teeth shall tear at your soft throats, their claws kill. Oh, the lions of fire shall awake, and the valley steam with their fury, because you are sick with the dirt of your money, because you are pigs rooting in the swill of your war, because you are mean and sly and full of the pus of your pious murder, because you have turned your faces from God, because you have spread your filth everywhere. O lions of fire, wait in the crawling shadows of your world, and their terrible eyes are watching you. We're almost done here. This one is it's one of mine. It's called Poets Talk Too Much. Okay. And I love poetry, I love trees, I love water, I love silence. So, but this is called Poets Talk Too Much. Life without poetry is like life without identity, without a compass, without the stars. Life without poetry is like life without memory, without a revolution, without a rhyme. Life without poetry is like life without roots, without forests, without lungs. Poets talk too much. Life without poetry is like life without a conscience, without risk, without pride. Life without poetry is like life without clarity, without a territory, without a path. Life without poetry is like life without a voice, without a choice, without a rebel's heart. Poets talk too much. And sometimes not enough. These are some short, I keep a book of Japanese death poems by my bedside, written by Zen Buddhist monks that die, and before they die, they write a haiku. The day of my death came and went. Nobody told me about it. When death came, I stopped breathing. It was as simple as that. Love death like you love life, and there is no argument, no loss. In defiance of death, we go on living. We are all marked for life, we just have different numbers. Read these death poems at my funeral, and I'll feel better. Death is an open window filled with love and silence. We go out with the light, or we go out with the darkness, according to the condition of our heart. Welcome death like you welcome a friend you love, and you die with clarity and lightness. Thank God for this miracle of living, for death is worth everything we've been given. When I die, I will do death as I did life, in silence. Applegate, 2002. I used to be a community organizer, and we used to go up in the mountains of California for a retreat. And I wrote this poem some years ago. In all these things I see, I pray, I sing the graces of thy name. In all that sings and crows, in all that hollers and buzzes, thy name is infinite creation. In all that appears and disappears, in the honk of the bullfrog, in the chirp of the winged bird, all peace and kindness is thy love. So close to my heart, I lay my fears. Let me stand in your presence in the full calling of thy song. Song is the existence of each moment. Melody as sweet as I pay attention. One moment newly born, night wrenched from storm, lullaby in the world's suffering. Enter peace, enter love. Enter me in thy word, Holy Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. And this is the last one. It's called Fields of Praise. Frightened by the hand of wealth, frightened by the ghost of poverty, between a trestle and a chasm, the first steps are like the edges of a puzzle. From nothingness to happiness, or so it seems when having less, creation is born of emptiness. The first step always feels out of place. I have nothing for a vessel but a bowl filling up with rain. I have given my possessions for a shelter from the pain. Nobody cares if what took you was an ambulance or a train. Those that always loved you care about your passions, not your things. My soul is filled with light. I can see behind curtains. My soul is filled with light. I can see behind curtains. A fire can't burn the light. A shadow cannot hide the candle. The moment I awaken, thought has no dimension, not that I can mention. Pay your respects without objection. Everywhere I look, there's no direction. There's no end to my projection. The sun has no shadow in a desert. The purpose of magic is to make exceptions. I wrote, and the angels followed me. I was up all night cleaning windows. When God smiles, it's very late at night. Shine on brightly, and thank you.
So now you have to get all the applause. I was fascinated by the variations in poetry and what everybody writes in this show, especially those that are here very often. And I feel, Nelson, that yours are always ones that kind of punch us in the face with honesty. You know, especially if you're like me, who tries to avoid watching the news or thinking too deeply about some of these things. And I always appreciate what you bring to the stage. I appreciate the gifts you give us and how much you support this community. So thank you again. All right, open mic time. So I think most of you have done this, but just a reminder of the rules. How many? 5 minutes. There we go. Okay. Center of the carpet here in this square, so we can see you right where you're blinded by the light. I'll call you up 3 at a time, and let's go, starting with Caitlin. I can't see you. Not Caitlin. That Caitlin. Not this Caitlin. That Caitlin. My bad. I was like, why is she squealing? I already told you this was going to happen. I'm like confused. All right. That Caitlin, Christian, and then Peter. Caitlin with a C.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
Hello?
I was not expecting to go first, to be honest, but I took the chance.
I warned you.
So, the poem I decided to go with today, because I was pondering this in the car, and, well, I think it's about time I said that even though I've been in the community with you guys for a shorter amount of time in comparison to some others here, but all of you have been so welcoming and so just nice to me in general. I know it's generic sounding, but sometimes genericness to me is a form of flattery because sometimes generic niceness is, especially in what's going on right now, it's forgotten sometimes, and not everything needs to be completely, like, I don't know, philosophical and anything like that. And I just appreciate all of you, and I just want to thank you again for being so welcoming for the past few months since I've been here. And dang these shoes. And it's because of your kindness that it's been inspiring to me that I would start writing a poetry book myself. Nothing's set in stone yet. I'm still working on the kinks, but I wanted to share something from that book that would get you an idea of what I've been inspired to write, and it's the book I think I've been meant to write for so long. And this poem I'm going to share with you today is called Kiss on the Neck. I can't stop touching it. It may be the wind, yet I imagine your breath crawling down my skin. My cold body had become warm, laying below your chest, pressure against mine, calm enough to rest. You start casually at the cheek. You didn't leave the other alone. Reached any lower than that, and I turned to stone. I made sure not to make a sound, not any at all. From heaven's clouds, this is where I made my fall. Your voice is lovely, your mouth is sweet, safe and secure, your ankles wrapped around my feet. It tickles at the neck, but I don't mind. I've been waiting for that, so soft, so kind. Funny as it may seem, I've never in my life have been caressed that way, as if I were your wife. I love you. With all of my heart I do. The kiss planted here, there I believe, true. Thank you so much.
You're gonna kill me with those shoes.
So, I started reading from my memoir here about 2 years ago, and we have reached basically the last chapter, which is what we're going to hear today. It's been so, part of this chapter contains a poem, and it is probably, I think, the first poem that I ever read on this stage. I'd like to read it for you in context. After I called her father, my communications with Ellie were reduced to sending Facebook messages and hoping she would reply. Can I just know if we're ever going to talk about this? I'm still angry with you. Like, completely betrayed by you. Like, thinking about you makes me want to die. You called my dad, breached my privacy, went behind my back, showed me that all you really care about is doing what's best for you. And screw me and what I need, and screw how I feel, and screw what I want. But hey, we could still have vacant, demeaning, flashback-inducing, morbidly depressed-making sex. I'm just so hurt. I thought I had someone who I could actually trust. So what do you want to do? Is this the end? You can't trust me anymore, and that's that? Or does this mean enough to you to want to work through this? I have never hurt you intentionally, and I never will, but it is impossible, given your issues and my issues and the fact that we are romantically involved, that we will not hurt each other in the future. I would do anything for your forgiveness. Can I just get a yes or a no or I don't know? Are we done? I really don't know right now. The time between each response was agony. Every night was a disorienting sequence of falling into uneasy sleep, being jolted awake by dreams of my phone ringing or vibrating, then finding no reply a dozen times per night. After 3 weeks, I asked again, have you decided what you want to do about us? I don't trust you, thus I can't ever see us being more than casual friends. And you don't think I can ever get your trust back? No, I don't. I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? You didn't do anything to me. I'm sorry things had to end this way. I know I have caused you a lot of pain and suffering and that I shattered all of the trust you had in me. I never once meant to hurt you or betray your trust. The only thing that mattered, and still matters to me, is your well-being, and if you feel you would be better off without me, then so be it. I am a little disappointed that something like this would be the end. I know you were hurt, but I feel like you didn't even try to work through these issues that you have with trusting people. I feel like it didn't mean enough to you to preserve what you had, that it wasn't important enough for you to fight for it. I almost feel like you wanted an out, like you wanted it to be over between us. That hurts me. I still care about you, a lot. I don't know if you would ever care to do this, but if you ever need help and you don't know where to turn, I will still always be there and you can call me. I'm not going to keep bothering you after these last few thoughts, but I will still think of you sometimes, and I will always want the best for you and your health and your life. I want you to be happy. Compared to the vividness with which my mind has preserved the memories of our relationship, what exists of the 4 months of purgatory following our breakup is only a handful of fragmented details, like half-remembered dreams upon waking. I remember the fear of going to sleep because I knew that she would be there, and it terrified me. So I would fight against sleep and my nightmares until early in the morning, then spend most of the day drowsily in bed until at least the middle of the afternoon, only to repeat the cycle again the next day. I remember a sudden urge to write and clinging on to that solitary urge for dear life. Heartbreak Deluxe. Sticky tide, seeping rose, drift and churn, smeary waves and haze echoes. Dreaming burns, razor din and linger low. Over her like a whirlpool current turns. All bleeds through or pours into opening. Days awash, watch them pass. Buzz saw throb, tender chord of fractured glass. Smolder on in a blur of indigo. Braille the hurt, pulsing out vibrations slow. Weighted heart, drag, sigh, murmur, fever, ache. Sealing eyes, pinball thoughts. Always know clockless nights of pulling knots. Here alone, in compulsive cue. Over her and the muted fading hues. Bear the wound. Oh no, this is nothing new. Cauterize. Oh no, this is nothing new. I remember that she sent me a snap of herself wearing a t-shirt with the original cover art for The Great Gatsby, and her hair dyed back to her natural color that said, "Happy 4th of July." I put my finger over my camera's lens and sent back a response that said, "If you don't want to talk to me, please don't snap me anymore." I remember ignoring messages that read, "Hey, I hope you're doing all right. Can you mail me my 3DS and my spare key? Have you sent the package? I haven't gotten anything. Hey, have you sent it yet?" It's part of moving on. I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'll give you money to reimburse you for sending it. I don't remember responding, "Stop. I don't care about the money. I just need space. I've been trying very hard not to think about you and to block you out completely, which my dreams have made sure to make a complete waste of time. I am not the same person you remember. Everything about the way my memories of you make me feel has changed. I couldn't stop it from happening. It's not your fault. It has nothing to do with you. It's my problem. But it's there in the chat log." It wasn't until I stumbled upon her 3DS while cleaning out my old things from Iowa that I returned from my dissociative state. My body began to overheat and shake as I looked at the carrying case in horror. I went to my parents. "I need to send a package. Are you all right? You look like you've seen a ghost. The package must go out today." "Well, we're going out to buy new sod for the yard, so if you want us to take you, it would be after you help with that." I got ready and made sure the contents of the carrying case were complete. At the lawn center, we purchased as much sod as we could fit in the back of our mid-sized SUV, then stopped at the local FedEx on the way home. "I need to ship to this address. I need a box." "Sure, let me just get you some supplies for you to pack while I check the rate." I quickly stuffed her 3DS inside, closed it, and wrote the address on the outside of the box. "Standard shipping with tracking, about $200 worth of insurance. I don't need to know the rate, just send it." The clerk looked at me somewhat perplexed as I slid the box across the table. She slid the box back to me. "You forgot the return address. No return address." "But how will they know I have the insurance and the tracking if anything goes wrong? The recipient doesn't need to send anything back." The clerk continued to look at me strangely but accepted the package. I went back out to my parents' car and we drove home. As we were pulling into our driveway, a massive Florida rainstorm started to fall from the sky, and I was drenched by the cold water as I quickly unloaded the sod into the garage for later. I came in from the rain and grabbed a towel, but no matter how much I tried, I couldn't seem to dry my face. It wasn't until I looked in the mirror that I realized it was because tears were streaming down it. Quote, "The right thing. What is it? I wonder, if you do the right thing, does it really make everybody happy?" And basically, that's what brought me into your office today. I stared at the psychiatrist across the table from me as he continued taking notes on everything I had just told him. "Okay, my friend, let me ask you something. Have you had any further contact with her?" "No, of course not. I promised her I wouldn't. I deleted her on Snapchat and from my phone contacts. After I mailed her 3DS, I went to let her know that I'd sent it back, but that's when I found out that she blocked me on Facebook." "That's good, my friend. It's better this way. That girl is a nightmare." His words stabbed straight through my chest and directly into my heart. Thank you. So, quick note, that's technically the end of the story, but there is one last section of my memoir as written. If you'd like to hear that, I will be reading it here next month. So come on back in a month. And that'll be the last real section. If you've forgotten the story, I've compiled it into a YouTube playlist. So if you need a refresher, reach out to me after the show or on Instagram, whatever you need, or not.
I love applause before I even read anything. Hey everybody, I'm Peter Gordon, and I've got one poem, but I want to just ask, is anybody following the baseball postseason playoffs in this room? Don't everybody applaud at once. I wasn't expecting that. But my team, the Tampa Bay Rays, did not make the playoffs this year, which I know, I'll get over it. I like to think of myself as an elite group because there's so few of us Tampa Bay Rays fans out there. Anybody go to one of the No Kings protests this weekend? Yeah, okay, I figured some of you would. This starts with baseball, but it explains why I went to the protests yesterday. It's called Playing Out the String. September baseball is full of teams eliminated from pennant races, playing only for pride and personal goals. I loved going to those games. So easy to get a good seat in half-empty stadiums, see minor league call-ups, dream of how good the team might be next year. No pressure to win. Perfecting process is the point. Those of us in the September of our lives know what it's like playing out the string. It's time for the rookies to prove themselves while we enjoy our beer and hot dogs or oatmeal and bananas. Yet the games still count. Results affect won-loss records. Personal goals remain attainable. Do you remember how sweet it was to stand at the plate, swing, hit the ball on the nose, watch it fly true and high over the fence, or bounce against the wall 375 feet away as you sprint around the bases, sliding into third? What would you give for one more day on the field, the chance to not fade away, make the world better? There's no glory sitting on sidelines, but you know, you can take the glory with you when it's your time to go.
Coming from everybody out of here. Peter has several now. Caitlin's going to do one. Simran has done one. Nelson has them. We got a few. Kay's working on hers. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited for all the support. And I think I'm probably the only person that's heard every part of Christian's memoir. Am I? I didn't realize it had been 2 years. You got it all, Flavor? You, Peter?
I did.
You too, Benoit, because he's in the back there. So he's heard every part of your memoir too. So I'm excited for this culmination. I did not realize it had been so long. And Christian did not say he'll be our feature next month. So you can come for more than... You can come for more than the end of his memoir, and you should have seen your face, Grace. You're so happy. All right.
I support my friends.
Caitlin with a K, this time Anthony and Matha.
Okay, so very in theme, actually. The very first time I ever read my poetry was at Stardust Cafe. And I was there and read my poetry. I watched a few other speakers, and I had to leave to go home to get, ready for bed. And I went to get up, and a woman next to me stopped me, and she said, actually, the person who's going up next is really great. You should stay. And I said, all right. And so I stayed, and the person who read was Christian, and he read from his memoir. And and then for the past year and a half, I've been, hearing your memoir, and it's been really amazing. So it is kind of like a bookmark that it's coming to an end. It's like, oh my gosh. And I'm actually was influenced by you, and I'm working on my first novel, and I wanted to read the first chapter of it. So, feels fitting. The novel is called Train to Trastevere. I fell out of love with him in Madrid, overlooking the busy Gran Via street with my feet propped up on the metal railing and a mug of black tea in my lap. I stare blankly down at the warm beige alleyway at the people trickling by through swollen, puffy eyes. Eyes that feel each blink. Eyes that require a conscious effort to open again. I've been like this all morning. Empty, numb, moving through the motions, pull back covers, place feet on carpet, turn on shower, vitamin C serum, the moisturizer. I pulled the beige linen set from the suitcase because it was the last clean outfit left. But soon he will be back, so I need to come too. I lift the mug to my lips and sip. I don't remember when it went cold. I take long, deep breaths to prepare my body for feeling and begin to recall the night before. I turn away from the alley full of people happier than me and look back over my right shoulder to the hotel bed. A tangled heap of white. A white duvet atop white twisted sheets and white indented down feathered pillows. The room is simple, the European essentials. A full-size bed along the back wall, a bathroom, and a kitchenette which opens to the balcony. I now sit. The memories wash over me and I flinch. Scrunch the inner corners of my tear ducts closed and forcibly press 2 fingers to the bridge of my nose to try to relieve the throbbing pressure. The relief is nominal and temporary. For this is no ordinary headache from lack of sleep or mild dehydration. This is the kind of headache that emanates deep to the bone, a weary ache only brought on by either grief or heartache. I guess I should be grateful it's the latter, but I feel is numbness. Pounding headache excluded. I open my eyes and blink until the bed comes into focus once more. I play back last night as if I'm watching a movie, separated from the experience by a balcony door frame like a voyeuristic neighbor spying on a couple's quarrel through a kitchen window. The room is dark, the only source of light coming from the bathroom door cracked open, casting long shadows across the bed and ceiling. I see a balled-up shape beneath the comforter, her dirty blonde hair sprawled on the white pillow, her fist tightly gripping the white duvet, pressing it to her mouth to try to stopgap the sobs. Her rapid inhales border dangerously on hyperventilating, punctuated gasps of "please don't go," filling the emptiness. I pan to the circular table situated near the foot of the bed where a curly, dark-haired man sits with hunched shoulders. He's dressed to go out. In medium whitewashed jeans, Reeboks, and a denim jacket that isn't light enough to match but not quite dark enough to contrast. He sits with his hands in his pockets, head cast down and shoulders facing the opposite wall. No sign or inclination to move towards the bed or provide comfort to the shaken girl. And I know in this moment that I will never touch him again. I return to myself, squeeze my eyes shut, and drop my head back, knowing that I will never touch him again, but that also knowing that these words are a lie. I let the morning sun warm my face and come back. I stay like this for a while until I've worked up enough energy to open them again. We haven't touched, though. For the entire 2 weeks of our trip, we've traveled from country to country, city to city, by plane, train, car, and foot, walking shoulder to shoulder through all of it, but each night I crawl into our shared bed next to his bulky 6'5" frame and contort my body to ensure that not a single inch of his skin touches mine. A silent message in all capital letters to keep his distance. In this one aspect, at least, I'm grateful for his overinflated pride, which prevents him from reaching over and trying to test the waters, admit that he's desperate for our lost connection. A facet of our relationship that was once so prominent, a passion that, if I'm being deadly honest, was less of a facet and more of a foundation. Foundation that shattered so quickly, I imagined its crumbled remains at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean we recently flew over. I shake my head and let out something that faintly resembles a chuckle, picturing my unused diaphragm, untouched at the bottom of my toiletry case. God, how many spermicidal lube packets did I pack? 15? No, 20. What a goddamn idiot 2 weeks ago me was. Packing toiletries, naively picturing a romantic, sex-filled trip to Europe with her tall, beautiful, always horny boyfriend. A much-needed break from a draining graduate program that would be so filled with passion and tangled bed sheets that she needed to be prepared for 20 potential sexual encounters. If only she could see me now. Dry from lips to eyelids, as closed off as a gay nun, dripping only in disgust and hatred where once was lust and endless wetness, I could make a raisin look hydrated. I look back to the bed, full of tangled sheets, but not in the way I had imagined. I didn't hear him get up from the chair last night. I must have been crying too hard. But I remember the click of the door handle and the sound of it clinching shut, the finality of it like an air-sealed vault. I remember gasping in shock, then crying even harder, pulling duvet from my lips and letting the sobs ring out freely without muffling. My body racked for a few more minutes until it tired and eventually stilled. I felt for my phone on the nightstand, pulled it under the covers to my nose. It was past midnight. I curled it tightly to my chest, folded it in on myself, and fell asleep. In the morning, I woke to the sounds of him snoring at my back, no part of him touching me. I feigned sleep for another hour until he got up and left to go grab his morning latte. I checked my phone and saw a text from Ange, my cousin, who also functioned as sister, mother, or best friend, depending on the day, asking if I was all right, and that she didn't hear from me last night. I closed it, not yet ready to answer that question or feel. I pulled the comforter back and delicately inverted myself to an upright position for the first time in 12 hours, and eventually made it out to the balcony I now sit. After replaying the scene, I felt around searching for the missing feeling. But even through the numbness, I knew the love was gone. Now the real trouble. Getting through the next 7 days together without him catching on.
Hello. Everybody doing? All right, I'm gonna get real vulnerable with y'all tonight. All right, so I've said it, and I'm sure you guys, maybe some of you have seen it. I lost my brother, and it's been a journey. But through that journey, I began to realize there's a sort of beauty on the other side, because a lot of times we don't realize that through your sadness there had to first be love. And so as I've been going through this process, this grief process, I found it to be a blessing to realize how much love was there. And so I just wrote a poem about it, really about the process. It was inspired by some events that took place at a family reunion. So I'm gonna just jump into it. But hopefully there's something that comes positively through, a sad situation for somebody. It's called Family Reunion in Montezuma, Georgia. We gather like branches in a pecan tree. Half the banquet wears denim and white, half wear fancy outfits unfurling like orchids. We find a table. The tablecloth is silky as magnolias, concealing metal corners, thorns that stab when I least expect. We sit, my wife, 2 kids, and the cousin I just met. Her accent smells like a bowl of collard greens and smoked turkey. She's known my mom since they were little. She asked, "How many sons does your mom have again?" Like questions are twigs to the heaviest branches. I count to myself. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 glows, unravels, stretches vertically. A third's cut from the top, turns perpendicular, becomes a minus to the larger one. I respond, 5 brothers, -1. -1 equals all numbers summed in 0, whole and hollow, whole bouquet and whole that swallowed my brother in flowers. Math doesn't make sense anymore. Like counting leaves of a 4-leaf clover without leaves. My cousin asks, "Are you okay?" I say nothing, like white roses at a funeral. Dewdrops fall from petals. She wraps her arm around mine, a vine holding a tree trunk split by lightning. We take a walk, floor tile to floor tile, floor tiles to back door. We stop under a tent outside. She says, "Every step goes somewhere. Can't be undone or skipped." She points to a row of pecan trees. Bob Ross would call those a series of happy little accidents. Some are happy. There's no accidents, and all deserve a masterpiece. When a tree loses a limb, the limb isn't ungrown, but cut short. And end twigs eventually grow from into sturdy branches. Regardless, a lost limb is still a wound. Wounds bleed sap. Sap dries, hardening to amber. Bleeding is the act of birthing gems, if done right. We look into the distance at a rusted, rundown pickup truck. Flowers bloom in the cabin and truck bed. I say, "I wonder how long the garden took to grow." My cousin pulls me close. Time. Regardless, decay always blooms the best gardens.
This is my first time here. Treat me well, I'm a baby. I don't have too much of a backstory. I've been writing for years, and it's taken me a long time to bring myself out, just because I'm an introvert with extroverted powers. So I have a lot of material, but not enough voice. But so here we go. To all the people who treated me like shit, thank you. You made me realize my worth ain't worth giving to those that'll mishandle my heart marked fragile. Thank you for letting me go. I almost drowned in shallow waters thinking I was in the deep end. Thank you for not inviting me back like a stray dog. When I asked to come back and you told me I love you, but fuck you. I learned to build my house brick by brick. Practically driving around town on toothpicks. Like my car, I'm breaking down too. But I was taught to hold my head up in hard times. I was taught to preserve through seasons that I could not name. Sometimes I ask the heavens, why me? Why is the smallest space in the pantry given to me? Groceries and makeup I've had to return because I needed to keep a roof over my head. Sleeping with thin bed sheets and old PJs, hand washing my underwear in the shower till the next laundry day. Why am I being wrung out and hung to dry? Why is all my dirty laundry out in the open for everyone to see? Am I being punished for choosing me? For choosing me? For choosing to bring to life my dreams as if begging for air to enter into my lungs? The landscape of my mind has been starved through famine, through drought, knee-deep in doubt, sinking sand. Hold my hand. Don't let me drown.
That was your first time reading? Love the first timers. So this is going to be really cliche, but I was sitting here listening to these last three thinking about, one, how vulnerable everybody is, and then two, how long it takes us sometimes to think about spending time with those we love and people that actually love us. Because we don't know when we're going to lose them. And you're in a generation like me. My grandmother had my father when she was almost 50 for some reason. I don't know why she did that. But my father has 6 older sisters, and I was in Atlanta visiting my aunts who were 90 and 79, and my 90-year-old aunt says, "I know I'm growing old, but I didn't want everybody to grow old with me." She doesn't know how to handle that. And being in the next generation, watching everybody grow old. And then literally a couple of days later, one of my other aunts fell. And we got on a Zoom call, and all the siblings were there, and she was just crying and happy to see everybody, and you're like, and then why are we spending all this time chasing mediocre assholes that don't love us or something? I do that all the time. So, just a thought, right? Family reunions are fun too. Yeah. All right. Good call, everybody. So our last three, it's a short list tonight. So, see if I can remember everybody's names. Kaisa, Claver, and Amir. Here we go.
So this is my second time here, and I just love this group. I have tonight. I'm going to read. Last time I read a story. Tonight I have one poem one poem that tells about an experience I had as a child and how it affected me, and then I have a short little one that speaks to who I am now. Mm-hmm. So this is called the first one. It's called Owen James, The Legacy. Owen James, The Legacy, that title sounds like power, even to me. But the strength that is in the name for years has been my private shame. For you see, his legacy is that he took a piece of me. Somewhere in between age 9 and 11, I thought Owen James was a slice of heaven. I just knew he never noticed me, because when I looked at me, this is what I'd see. An awkward girl that was too tall, knees knocked so bad to make her fall. Her vision was bad and her glasses so thick, her hair so nappy that it made me sick. Owen was a catch for any girl. If he smiled at you, your toes would curl. His skin was light and his eyes were green. Once he walked in the room, it would cause a scene. Owen and I were in the same class, but I was nobody. He would walk right past. I had a couple friends, but not like him. He had so many, they could fill a gym. And then one day, because of an odd circumstance, we had a conversation. And this was my chance. After school, yeah, girl, me too. After school at my aunt's house, I would wait. My mom picked me up there when she worked late. It turned out that he lived next door. Just scoot over, let me tell you a little bit more. No, I lost my place. See, that's what I get. He said, hey, and I replied. I managed not to get tongue-tied. We then began to have a talk. I made him laugh and we took a walk. After school each day, we'd play a game and just hang. We had fun together. Oh, how my heart sang. No kids were there. We were just fine. No other girls were in my line. No one to tease, no one to see. After school, it was just him and me. Then one day, he told me, I think you're cool. I love to hang with you after school. I want you to be my girl. I wanted to dance, I wanted to twirl. Owen James wants to be my guy. And that to me was sweeter than apple pie. To have Owen James claim a nerd like me, my life would change and everybody would see. Then he said one thing. My heart failed low. Of course he said, nobody can know. He explained the reason was how I looked. My face wasn't pretty and my knees were crooked. He said he'd be mine, it would be the same. But in truth, I'd become his private shame. It was like in that moment he removed my crown. I wouldn't be his queen, I would be his clown. His entertainment when no one was around. I turned him down. That's right. And it was tough, even though he just told me I wasn't enough. And that, for me, was his legacy. I wasn't enough then, so I wondered if I'd ever be. I carried that with me as life went on, that voice in my head when things went wrong. I share this story for you to tell your babies, tell your daughters as they grow into young ladies. You're as smart and as beautiful as can be. So another Owen James won't be their legacy. This one is really short. It's short, and it speaks to kind of where I am now after Owen James. I've fallen for a lady, but I'm not gay. I don't care what people think or say about her, because I think she's fine like a vintage wine that I savor. I want to drown in her flavor. Sorry. I didn't start out this way. Didn't like her, I'm ashamed to say, and I let her know every day. I told her I hated her nappy hair, her lumpy thighs, her watery eyes. They always filled with tears, but I had no ear to hear the cries when I told her all my lies. As time went by, I learned about love. I wasn't above taking another look at who she'd become, a true beauty inside and out. I wanted to shout, I'm sorry, for not seeing this before. You've always been so much more. Your thighs, they're luscious, not lumpy. Your hair is thick, not nappy. Your eyes, they mesmerize. Why did I ever tell her those lies? No, I love her, and I tell her every day. That lady is me, so I'm not gay. But if I was, that'd be okay.
West End Jesuit. Game show contestant. Teaches autistic freshmen. He looks like a frosh. Unkempt ketchup hair. Curly smile confessing wet clod of bubblegum under his laptop. Love at first mash of buzzer. Voyages by Hart Crane. Hoodie versus suit, gray paisley boring cravat, unlike suspenders in the dressing room when I tried them on shirtless. Teach might attempt that. Fedora felt crown. Desk must wear at least jersey. Buttons can pollute. Brad pulls his glass eye, cackling like a rooster sky. Will Teach laugh, sigh, suspend his dumb ass? Curly roars uproarious. Suddenly Bobby admits he digs chess, though it sullies him a nerd. Chris cries, every turd whines anaconda. This is tired classroom no more. It is a clan of friends. And when 5,000 becomes pedagogues' winnings, eyes flush tears like gulls falling on the beach to bread crust, salty hot dog, leftover picnic. Money humble man lavishing so he can heap kids crack Halloween. Potlatch. Portrait cuneiform. Segments tiny as ant smiles. High schooler artiste. Astonishing page. First evening of summer camp. Name outed, Raphael. Out by the septic. Counselor notices smoke. Genius fag in hand. Man, I'll confiscate. Crunch it underfoot, brother. Temple talk, no shit. Seen alveoli? Blood Kerouacs, miles and miles. Cray anatomy. Why aim to destroy? You have etchings in cabin? Let's stub you docent. Bless me with a tour. Einstein in amoeba dots. Platypus microed in miniature scrawls. Are you applying to Pratt? London sizzles nights. Inches from the Queen, happily bookstore cashier, told me stay right here. Could have licked her gown. Multiple festivals shown, prodigy chef d'oeuvre. Merely our outpost. Follow me to Cap Abbott. College shall be yours. I emerge from shock to peer past largest canvas, and there lies carton camels, one pack shy. Creature, are you using those? Hand them to me, please. His whimpers resound, high as the cedars outside. Coach, don't deprive me. Spy biology, precious lad. It is awesome how we all are built. Don't throw away. No, I need my energy fix. Coach, here's my intense, buttress, unhealthy. Do as you please. I don't know, ask from hole in wall. As bohemian as kind grad student purports, kid's obedience floors him to the max. Nimble thumbs relinquishing. Coach gently hands back poison to prisoner. Intelligence no glibber, unleashing a lamb. Just one short other one. This one is dedicated for Nelson, and it is called Magnificrat. Colorado gift. Moments sublime, merrily stalking highborn hills. Mama fly spacious, chambers we nominate heart. Ivory candidate to piano goes sweaty before audience, as outside noir snows how great thou art, whose seedlings mammoth Everest news nimbles the blues, and thimbles arrest provenance. Burly moveth skimpy providence along briny lines, salt of the earth, shriven birth, sly paradise rhymes, oceanic turnstile into forever road maps we keep fellowing.
Hello everyone. So this poem that I'm reading has two segments. It has Farsi and English, and I love Farsi. It's such a romantic language. I love that it flows in the English, and English touches the surface of Farsi. I love the composition generally. بود مسیح در خواب. Persephone was dreaming. هر مسیح در یک خواب. In each a Messiah, in each a dream. هر نجات بخش آرمیده در لابلای ملحف از حریر. بالین و بستری قایقی برای دو. سفر تنها در آن دریا. In each a sunrise too soon to see. The sunset still red flows through me. Blue is the night and the silver spell runs through your hair. Ornates the blank of my mind, orbits the crimson of my heart, and the mist rolls in sight and the veils will fall. Satin flows through satin, embraces embrace the two in a bed. The moon is upon us, but which hand will the enchanter take first? Who forgets first? May the waters be a bliss to row in the first river, under alone you will go. معشوق در خواب و معشوق دیگری بیتاب. In each one word lingers silence. In each a tragedy to wail, and each laid. The moon split in two, one side of the moon each, facing each on a pillow, feathers upon feathers, each a dove for peace. Each a Messiah for another, my Messiah who dreams first. Each that they ask the question, who is the last to be in silence, and who is the first to wake? We will both wait, but who waits first? بیتاب برای صبح، معشوق اما زیبا، چشم نازک، مویچه بر مویچه تنیده، و ابرو به بالای رو، نسیم از نفس بر حریر، و یک قطره از یک چشمه لغزید. قسمتم این بود، قسمت این بود. Blue is the night upon their face, and the first was taken by the silver spell. Moonlight pierced the soul, and all gold turned blue. Now until forever, and from forever until the sun rises again. معشوق غمین دست نمیتوان برد به ماه رویت. وای از بیداری، وای بر بیداری که در بالین مسیح خفته. وای از لالاهای ناشنیده و چشم دوخته به چشم دوخته نادیده. May there be justice, a silent whisper. May my Messiah wait for me, a silent complaint. You were in a dream, dear, and my eyes sewn to your sewn eyes. What to do, how to embrace you and not wake you. For the beauty in a dream is a beauty to only see, and to stay still and the heart beats in lullabies. Unheard, untold, forgot each night. Forgot each night, rescued, redempted, absolved. Forgot each night. May my Messiah for once long for me. May the sun do me a fair humor. May the sun wake you up before me, and you too see me in a dream. For his Persephone was dreaming. For his Messiah took a stroll under this world. وای از دو نمیتوان گفت آری و قلم بر بوم برد. نمیتوان گفت نه و آرام در زمان خفت. چه سحری هست که آبی از نیم رخهایش میتابد و قمر سه پهلو به دو سو شکافت. نمیتوان به آغوشش کشید و بیدار باش شبانه داد و نه صبر کافی است برای طلوع صبح. صبح که چشمانش بلور شود، نیمه تمام شود و از کنج نقره ها طلا بروید. For her Messiah, not in fairies, as crystal, as colored, as eyes can see, with the sunrise, with the lights, back in his eyes, rises again. For the longing is over, and the sun humors lovers again. Blue twists, silver grows, gold leaves, and comes the spring. و باشد که بر او هم نور در چشمانش رقص صبر بیاورد در بیداری، که مسیح او هم بود در خواب در زیر نور صبحگاه. ورق ورق طلا آرمیده بر گونه، گونه‌ای که دیشب بود میگون از بزم و طرب. به یمن طلا باشد که عدل در عشق بیابد و عشق در قرار، و بیداری او در من حلول کند و آبی بتابد به طلا و طلا حریر شود، بتابد به دور سرخ دلش. Thank you.
Thank you everyone. For once I am just about finished on time. Yay. You guys have reminded me that I need to get back on writing and actually finishing something, and maybe I should write another book. Don't get excited. I don't even tell. I tell people don't even